Alright, what you see here is a Hunter Brunswick ceiling fan. I got this from Aaron Tarzca almost 2 years ago now. And this fan is in the new bronze finish. Mark Wilson picked this up for me at either the spring or the summer group trip of 2018. I think it was the summer group trip. It was like right before I left that. He dropped this off of a few other fans. And this is also the same time I got the Hampton Bay Romano from Aaron as well. Fans of the new bronze finish. They did make these in a white finish as well, and I think they made them in some sort of a nickelish, or maybe like a brushed steel finish of some sort. But either that or it was like they made a model similar to this in a steel finish, where the housing was more didn't hang down so well. But yeah. So the reason why I got this fan off of Aaron is because these are major childhood fans for me, in the sense that I see them in the catalog a lot, and they were a favorite fan of mine as a kid. It's also what made me like this fan a lot as a kid is that the fact that it's a very unique looking hugger fan, and you don't really see a unique design like this on huggers. Usually you would see it more on like fans that have a down rod. So, and even today, you don't. I mean, today they have more unique huggers, but like back in the early 2000s or late 90s, a lot of hugger fans were just generic looking, so there wasn't really too many unique looking ones like this. And this one does have a fancy look to it, so even today you don't really see too many huggers that have a very classy look to it like this one does, where it'll go to like a very old-fashioned themed restaurant or something. So that is something that I really do like about this fan. Yeah, it's definitely a very sought after fan in the community by some people, not by everybody, but I know there's quite a few collectors that do like these fans. They are not that easy to come across, even though they were sold for quite a bit, like for a good 10 years or so. These fans I remember retailing for about $250, so that could be the main reason why they didn't sell too well. Also, it was a special order fan too, so that is another reason why you don't see these that often. They were sold at Home Depot and Lowe's, probably on eBay and other websites as well, but I know Lowe's and Home Depot carried these. I'm not sure if they were sold in a showroom at all, but I know they were sold at those two places. But yeah, I see them in the Hunter catalog from Home Depot, the poster ones from 2001, 2002, and 2003. And then I see it in the special order section they used to have at Home Depot. And, it was always like on the same page usually with the Hunter baseball fan, which is kind of the other reason why I like this one a lot, because it was always like right next to the Hunter baseball fan in the catalogs and the low profile too. But yeah, the fan is a very nice looking fan. It's definitely something that would catch the attention of people walking into the room. Definitely will make a nice living room fan. Or for my taste, it wouldn't be something I'd put in my own living room, or more so like a TV room, maybe like a formal living room, but not like a living room just to hang out and such. More for like if guests were coming over and just to talk and such. Maybe I would put it in a room like in that case. It does have walnut blades on the other side. Now the walnut side is a bit beat up. Some of them have some scratches on it, but you'll see that one night you do a video of it with the walnut blades. The Rosewood side's in a lot better shape. They were quite a bit dusty or dried up dust of some sort. I don't know what it was, but I cleaned it up pretty well. So yeah, let's go ahead and show it to white. Definitely gets off good lighting. Something I can see like in like an Italian themed restaurant or something, or like even in a place like Olive Garden or something. Something that has like that type of feel to it. It's definitely a classy looking fan. And they do sell a newer fan on Hunter's line today called a Brunswick as well, but it's nothing similar to this at all. So the blade arms, I guess you could say, are kind of similar to how it is on the newer one. However, that's a 4-bladed model. I know I do like the newer one quite a bit as well. I do like this one more just because it's a childhood fan. And also it has a unique design too. It kind of reminds me of there's the Amazon fan there's a 2-blade model and a 4-bladed model that's an antique replica. It was like an antique fan of some sort, or it's supposed to look like some sort of antique fan. I do know that the switch housing on this is similar to it, so that is something I do like about this fan quite a bit. Yeah. There's the Hunter logo up there. I forgot to show it up close. I'm going to shut off the lights around me to give it a testing on the lighting. It definitely lights up the space pretty well. Yeah. Let me shut off the light and start the fan off on a low speed. When Aaron tested it, he had to hold it on the fan in while I was on high speed due to it moving around too much because one of the hooks that holds the motor in place was worn out. The rubber thing that holds the motor. So I replaced one of them with that one from one of the low profiles I have down here. So it still wobbles on the medium and high speed, but it's not scraping against the motor housing no more. So I don't have to worry about that. Now the blade arms are not out of clock as bad as it looks on camera. Well, if the blade alignment, it's just the blades are pretty warped. And that's what's making it look out of alignment. So it's really the blades, not the blade arms that are causing it to be this out of clock. Definitely moves a decent breeze on low speed. Something I'd even consider putting in a kitchen if it was like a very classic looking kitchen. But obviously I'd prefer putting something like an original in there instead. But if I had to do like something like that with lower ceilings, I definitely would consider this one. But probably I'd consider this for a dining room too if I had to do something with low ceilings, but I wanted something fancy looking. That or like a Victorian or something on the LCA. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and show it the light. And it did have 2 very long pull chains on it, but since they were not original to the fan itself, I just removed them. Definitely would be the type of pull chains I'd use on this fan anyways, but I figured for the video purpose I'd just take them off. Plus they would be out of the frame, and I usually like to have the pull chains visible in the frame. And this fan is from the 11th week of 2003. I forgot to mention it earlier in the video. And interestingly enough, that's the same exact week that the white low profile 2 that I have in 5200 was made. So they were both made at the same exact time. It's not something I've seen with Hunter fans of mine that are right from the 2000s era. Well, I don't have that many of them. So there's also that. But it's interesting that 2 of my biggest childhood fans that are like late 90s or 2000s models, 2 of them that I wanted the most as a kid, the ones that I have, are both made at the same time. So I find that quite a coincidence. It's definitely a fan I can see like in a living room, like a very classic looking living room, like a very fancy one and such. Alright, now to move the fan up to medium. Definitely moves good on medium speed. definitely a fan that I'm I'm kind of surprised it didn't sell too well, but I guess compared or it didn't show up as much, but there's a lot of fans from the 2000s era from that Hunter sold that didn't sell that much compared to like the 90s ones. But I mean, there's a lot of Hunter models from the 90s that are hard to find as well, and it was mostly due to the price range that they were asking for them. But for the fact that this one was sold for nearly 10 years and it still doesn't show up that often, it's kind of surprising. Alright, show it to white. It's definitely an appealing fan, especially with the light on. I would definitely also consider putting this in an office as well, or like a study area, or like some type of library room in the house. That's something, a place that I could see this fan looking really nice in. All right, now to move it up to the high speed. Definitely has quite a bit of a wobble to it on the high speed, but again, it's not scraping against the motor housing now, at least. And it is due to the blades being warped, so that is what's causing it to wobble. Definitely is cooking out quite a bit of air. It definitely does move a tiny bit more than your average spinner motor Hunter, but it's almost not big of a difference, to be honest. Still moves good air, but it's not like a huge difference compared to the Air Max motor performance and just the regular spinner motors that Hunter would use in their ceiling fans. This move, it does feel like a little bit more, but it's really not that big of a difference. It's not like a huge difference, like, oh, a stack motor compared versus a spinner motor. I mean, it is still a spinner motor, it's just a beefier motor, and it's basically. But something I've been noticing is there's a lot of this. Some of the Hunter spinner motor ones, the bearings tend to go out on them sometimes, where there hasn't really been too much of that being shown with these Air Max motors. So, but then again, there wasn't that many Hunter fans that used the Air Max motor. They were kind of a short-lived thing in a sense, or there was just, or more specifically, there wasn't one that was in every single model that they had. So that is kind of probably the other reason as well. But it definitely does move a bit more air than your average spinner motor Hunter, though, without a question. Right now, so light while it's on the high speed. I would definitely consider installing this at some point in the future. The only thing is, I would definitely want to try to fix the warped blades and just like have them get unwarped, basically. What I'm probably gonna do is after I finish the testing videos of it, I'll put in the bottom, way in the bottom of like where I have the blades stored away, and have all the other blades way on top of it, so that way you should be able to fix the ones that are warped. I would say to put heavy books on it, but with the amount of blades I have in that, that would probably do more than what the books would. I mean, it's not that bad of a wobble, but for a fan when it's a very nice looking fan like this, if it's in the kitchen, I wouldn't care too much, but if it was like in a living room or like an office, it would kind of bother me a bit more. Alright, I'll turn it off and do spin down. And then I'll put on reverse after it's done spinning down. I just rather wait until it's done spinning down due to the reverse switch being very close to the blade arm, so I don't want to accidentally hit the blade arms and affect the spin down. Usually, it depends on the fan. Like if the blade arms are very hang down a bit low and or the reverse switch is very close to the blade arms, that could accidentally hit it while it's running or just spinning in general. I'd rather wait until it's done spinning before I reverse it. And this is one of those fans I'd rather wait. But yeah, definitely it's a good performing fan. I definitely would not install it with the walnut blades due to that side of the blades being very beat up compared to this side. The Rosewood side's just warped, but it's not like it's only one blade that has a little scuffing on it, but it's nothing that would make me that's like too big of a deal that I wouldn't install it. But I definitely would want to get the warped blades fixed on it before I'd ever install it, though. All right, it's come to a quick stop. I'm not going to have it running on reverse too much, because I already have a good feeling it's going to wobble a lot more on reverse, so I definitely don't want to just scrape around more. And I know, well, basically everything I've tested down here wobbles more on reverse if they do have a wobble to it. And I do not want it to put strain on the hooks on it, because that's definitely what caused one of them to get worn out and actually break too. Because when that was worn out, not only did the padding on it wear out, but the metal portion that was supporting it also snapped in half too. So I definitely don't want it to damage the other ones. It's an easy fix, but I'd just rather not have to keep stealing parts from other ones just for another fan. Not for medium. Oh, no, honestly though, this is definitely a fan that I would definitely install in my mom's bedroom if I could. And if the ceilings were low enough to justify it. Because I know it's something that would fit her furniture pretty well. Or it would match it pretty well. I mean, I could do something more vintage, but I know her style, like what she's into, and I know she's really into like stuff that had like a bronze look to it. Yeah, it definitely is wobbling a bit more in reverse. So let me try to do this quickly. Alright, and that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more videos to come.